We're finally gonna find out why my E63 is labeled a rejected repaired. I bought this car from Copart for a fraction of what it costs on the used marketplace right now. But I think you guys can see why. And if you can't see why, well, let me show you guys some more. Look at that, the quarter panel is not even welded on. We have this, no rear glass. On top of that, we have a front end that I just assembled. And this is what the front end looked like before I spent $4,500 making it look like this. And if you don't know what Copart is a auto auction where people like me and you can buy ourselves a dream car for just a fraction of what they cost at the dealership. And obviously, like this one here, they all have damage or something going on with them. But what makes this vehicle so exciting is that it was a rejected repair, which means the shop started fixing it, saw something, rejected it, and threw it on the auction. And in this episode, we're gonna figure out why. Good morning, I hope you guys are having an amazing day. We are gonna figure out why this thing here went to the auction and why I paid only $28,000 for it. Was it a good deal, or did I just get screwed and this thing is not really repairable? And to be fully honest with you guys, I am a bit worried on what is going on behind this quarter panel. Look at that, that's pretty darn sketchy. And before we take off that quarter panel and see what the heck is going on, let's go ahead and button up this front end. In the last episode, I was able to mock up this entire front end, but not fully bolt it down just because I was missing this little bracket right here. If you don't know what this bracket is, don't worry, I'll explain. It clips onto the radiator cassette. Basically under this shield, as you guys can tell, there is no bolts because I couldn't assemble all that because I gotta put this on. Anyways, it clips in right there, and then from the top, there's these rubber grommets and clips that hold this entire cassette in place. Let's go ahead and install it. This is why making an accurate parts list for your car is crucially important. Not only did I have to wait an extra week for this little part to come, but I also couldn't assemble and complete the front end. Now I have to disassemble everything just to install that little piece. So now that we have a couple things loosened, we can get access inside there and go ahead and snap this puppy right in. Done. With that out of the way, we can now start torquing everything down because we no longer need to disassemble it. I noticed my coolant level was low after warming up the car, so I topped it off, which is normal because the radiator was replaced. Now torquing everything down can be a little tricky. What I do is I thread all the bolts everywhere to make sure they fit, then I'll actually start tightening them down. We're just about finished up with this side. This bracket here, I didn't have it in the previous episode, so we gotta install it, and a sensor as well. It goes right on this edge right here, inside there. Let me remove this thing. It goes inside there like this, right here. Sensor gets attached to it right here. There's a pigtail for the sensor right here, and then this is for the headlight. So it's like this, and headlight gets screwed on right here. Each vehicle is different, and since I've never assembled a E63 front end, I was bound to be missing a couple of pieces. But this is what makes rebuilding extremely fun. Troubleshooting and figuring out how things mount is definitely a challenge on its own that I very much enjoy. The bracket has a lot of movement, and to make sure it is put in the correct spot, I had to hold the headlight to where it was supposed to be mounted, and then use pliers to torque down the bracket under the headlight. This piece here will make this front end look pretty complete. We are basically tightened everything from the top. Gotta pop that in right there. I don't think we're gonna be taking off anything here anymore. Hood, fenders, and stuff like that, we are gonna remove for paint. But as for this stuff here, we are all solid. Installing the air guide is pretty easy. You just pop off this little bracket here and put the rubber boot behind it, and then you install it back on and slide the actual air duct back on. Now all that we had left to do was set the headlight gap up on the other side of the car, and once that was all done, we were officially done with the front end. Dang boy, this looks so sick. Look at that. Woo! I guess we're done with that. Let's go to the quarter panel. Can you guys imagine terrorizing the streets in this thing? I literally can't wait. Let's get this thing finished ASAP. If nothing's too bad, let's check it out. While I'm taking this off, you guys go down below and comment how bad do you think the damage behind here is. Is it repairable? Do we just need a couple of components, or is it gonna run me just completely out of the budget? So look at this. We have some self-tappers. Not sure what we have. Oh, that's all loose. So we gotta pull this bumper off, see what we got back here. I think we have some more self-tappers under here. Maybe, I don't really know what's going on under here. I don't even know what's going on actually under there. That's another thing that I haven't really considered. Let's take this off. Before we get to the body of the car, the bumper here was basically on one little screw right here, which actually ended up breaking because I couldn't get it out right here. It's like super tight. Tried with pliers, tried with that. But I did notice this. Look at this. Unconnected. And these are all connected. Okay, it's connected. This one here is unconnected. This is unconnected, and this was unconnected, and also this sensor. So they started taking this apart, I'm assuming, because we have some kind of tape here, two pigtails, which I don't know where the second one goes. One goes here. Don't know where the second one goes. Perhaps it's under where the exhaust is. Oh, there's the module for the air suspension. But yeah, that's what the heck? So confused. Anyways, we'll figure that out in a little bit. Let's take a look at this quarter panel. We got one self-tapper, what seems to be another one, but no damage here, so that's good. Moment of truth. Okay, I think, unless there's something else, I think we're off. No, we're pretty solid. What in the world? Why is it so tight? Ooh, we got some movement here. Unless this is holding it. No, it's not holding anything. Don't want to damage this deck lid. Oh. All right, 3, 2, 1. What is going on back here? Well, at first glance, it doesn't look too bad until you realize that there are a few structural components that are missing, and I don't even know where they go. I did just realize that this piece here is cut and it goes way in there. We got a fat dent right here, which is not too big of a deal because that's where you weld, so we can repair that. But all of this here looks like it's been pushed in. You see all these creases here? You see all this? We're missing, oh my goodness, a hole. There's literally a hole right there. Oh my goodness. And then they cut this at this kind of angle, which is fine. I can cut it straight like that. I don't know why they went so far in, but oh my goodness. Back here though, it's pretty good because they didn't like destroy any of this. They did kind of dent it up, I'm assuming from putting on the new quarter panel, just like for the auction. But this is not bad either, so thank God for that. And if you look inside, you can see all that is pushed up against the seat belt. Oh my goodness, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be challenging. Oof. So let's go ahead and see where these pieces go. I'm assuming this one here goes right here because it's kind of the only place it seems like it fits. And I don't even know why they took it off because it has no damage. It's perfect shape. I can just weld this one back on. So that one goes there. This one seems like it goes right there. Oh my goodness, and that's why they cut all that off. Look at the damage right there. That's exactly where that door is. So the main impact went, goes ka-chow right there. Now I wanna see why they did what they did. So this piece here, this piece, I have no idea where. There's a part number on it. Look at that part number. But it looks like, oh, there it is. It found home right there. So that found home. So this, and this is one part, which is good, but also sucky because I don't know how far this goes up, and I don't want to cut the quarter panel where the roof is, so I may have to just weld it right there. Basically just make a nice perfect cut and weld the new piece on, lining all that up. Now this piece here goes like that. So that makes sense why they cut that off, just to remove this. So we have those 3 pieces here. Hopefully that doesn't fall. And then we got this piece here, which is for the striker. See how much the striker adjusts. This should technically go somewhere over here, right there. We've basically assembled this structural area. And to be honest, I think seeing all this, I think the reason this car totaled out or was a rejected repair was because this piece right here went in too far. And for them to replace it by the book, I'm assuming they have to cut into the roof. So that's my logic. Besides that, this all has to be repaired and put into place, and we won't really know how it's supposed to be until we get this new piece and measure everything up to that. I'm curious to hear what you guys think now that the quarter panel is off. Why do you think they rejected it? Am I just overlooking the difficulty of this task, or I don't know. Since we have the part numbers literally right there and right there, I found the 2 pieces and they're not that expensive. So this piece here is $171, and then this piece here is $80 or even $61 right there. I'm gonna go ahead and order this new piece as well because I hate welding these humongous holes. And when it's a brand new piece, they have no holes, you just pre-drill little holes and you can get that welded significantly easier than those massive holes. You know, I was just sitting here and looking at this and thinking, if this video here gets 8,000 likes, I will literally go out, buy a welder, buy everything needed to get this done at home. Like weld all this on and repair everything at home in my garage to show you guys that this can literally be done at the comfort of your home and bugs. You guys probably didn't know this, but I don't only rebuild cars. I rebuild absolutely everything. This here is my new to me 2023 Sur Ron Light BX. I've been wanting to get a bike like this for so long. I have been browsing Facebook Marketplace and OfferUp and all those places to find myself a nice Sur Ron, and I finally have found it. But this one here happens to be wrecked, as you can see by the handlebars there, the peg there, and the seat here. It doesn't look too bad, but the guy broke both of his arms, and the story is he was casually cruising and a truck crossed a double yellow line, cutting him off and just hitting him right into this handlebar right here. He ended up on the hood of the truck, broke both of his arms, and got airlifted to the hospital, which is extremely sad and extremely, just a horrible situation. He had to basically sell the bike to not only cover medical expenses, but also because he physically can't ride due to 2 broken hands. That's obviously not something I would wish happens to anybody, but that's how I ended up getting this bike. I paid $3,000 for this bike, and factoring in all the mods and a box full of parts he gave me, that is an extremely good deal. Look at this, we got some Kimber Fimber right here. We got a lot of cool stuff going on all around, and I'm just super beyond excited to ride this thing. So let's go ahead and assess the damage. The rear brake is busted, look at that. It does not work at all. These shocks are good. I took a look at them. They are straight and they are good. So I'm super happy about that. The front wheel and rear wheel spin perfect. The only thing I'm seeing right now is this rear brake and the bars. So let's get those swapped out and see if we can take this thing for a test spin. He was super nice and he gave me a bunch of stuff with the bike, including the factory rear brake handle right over here. So we're gonna go ahead and install that and install the factory handlebar and hope that's it. First, we need to take off the bent bars, and in order to do so, we need to loosen the clamp and take off all the accessories on the bars. Once everything is off, we can take off the bars and mount the new bars on. Alright, so we got the new bar on, we got the throttle on, brake, and now this side, I need to change the actual hydraulic brake cable because it has no brakes. So I want to see if we have that. If we don't, then we're kind of screwed for now. I dug around in the box of parts the guy gave me with the bike, And I was surprised because turns out I have literally everything I need to rebuild this bike, including a new brake lever and a blue one right there as well. So let's do it. I thought I had all the parts for an easy swap of the rear brake, so I started assembling all the accessories back onto the bars. And then I started removing the rear brake line to swap it out with the new one I had, not realizing that the new one I had was short because it was from the front brakes. So I had to improvise and repair my old brake line. Hoping that the brakes would work, I put the old brake line back to where I had just taken it out from. I tightened everything back up and I got my brake bleeding kit, watched a couple of YouTube videos on how to bleed brakes, and did exactly what they instructed. Well, it is definitely warm out here in Florida, and we have successfully bled the rear brakes. I have never bled brakes on a bike, and it's actually quite simple. You got one bleeder right there, and then a bleeder right there. That system helped a lot. Look at got that syringe, plugged it in right over here, opened that up, just ran the fluid through the entire thing, and now we have brakes. See that movement? I'm gonna do it one more time because it's a little bit softer than I would like. Actually, you know what? I think that's perfect. I don't want it to be too sensitive because it's a rear brake for wheelies. Let's go ahead and finish it up. For those of you guys that didn't know, I used to rebuild dirt bikes and just flip them to make money. Before that, I used to rebuild like pocket bikes, bicycles, mountain bikes, DJ bikes, and then I used to scooter as a little kid. So I'm very familiar with the forks and this system over here, and it's officially paid off. All I have to do now is set the alignment on the wheel with the forks, because I've set the alignment with the stem, like the handlebar and the forks, they're perfectly straight. Now the wheel is a little bit to the left. Gotta loosen these double clamps, I think they're called double clamps, and set the alignment for that. And then we're basically good. We can put the fender back on and take this thing for a good rip. We're gonna go ahead and try to do some wheelies out here. Oh man, that's sick. Definitely mob's nice. Well, that's it. The bike is all finished. Alignment is perfect. Everything works. Rear brakes are bled. And I had to actually basically just change over this wire from the other brake. You see this is a Shimano and this is a Sur Ron original one. So all I did was change the internals here and the brake works. Everything works. I'm super excited. Let's do some wheelies. I'm not too good, so don't judge, but let's get some. So sick. Oh my goodness. Whoa! And don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Good old Home Depot. Let's go get a drill. Ha ha ha. We've secured the goodies. Good news is I ordered the parts already for the quarter panel, but while we wait, I wanted to kind of just trim up this quarter panel because like this right here, we're not replacing. This taillight pocket, we're not replacing. So you see these spot right here, these spot welds, we're gonna go ahead and drill these out, chisel this off right here. And then as for this piece here, on the vehicle, it's right here. I'm not sure if I'm gonna replace this here, like this, or leave this piece on here. So I'm not sure just yet. I mean, it doesn't really matter for me. It's either I weld here or I weld here, you know? So it's not a big difference for me, to be honest. I may just cut it like how it is right now and just weld it how it is. And then you see that piece, we're not replacing it. So let's go ahead and cut all those pieces off. I'll show you how it's done. Obviously you need a drill. That's why I just bought this thing. It's on sale, 99 bucks. And as many of you guys may know, but if you don't, I moved from Washington to Florida, and I basically gifted all my tools that I had to my dad at the shop. So that's why I'm just buying all new tools, and I'm not even mad about it, because my dad is using the other ones. So look at that. Voila! When drilling the spot welds, get a drill bit that is just a tiny bit bigger than the spot weld, and make sure you're drilling right in the center of the weld. And if it helps, grab a hole punch and find the center of all the spot welds. Since I've done this over 1,000 times, it's pretty easy for me. We've got all of them basically knocked off, and if you drill correctly, it should just pop off because the drill bit is bigger than the actual spot weld. So anyways, I don't want to ruin it, but we're gonna go ahead and use a chisel and get inside there and just knock it lightly off. Make sure when you're doing this, you're not ruining the panel under if you need to save it. This one I don't need to save, so I'm gonna be careful with the top one. There's that. That didn't feel too good. So I decided to leave this original here and take it off the new quarter panel. So let's take that piece off, and then we can actually mock it up, and it'll fit a lot better back here, not overlapping. It's real warm. Now, just like I showed you right before this, exact same thing happens here. There we go. I need to weld that edge after I'm done. With those pieces being cut off, this quarter panel should fit significantly easier. Today was probably the hottest day in Florida. It is extremely hot. I've been sweating buckets all day, but this gap looks so good. And everything about this car is so much better than I initially thought. Look at this down here, everything's lining up around the tail light. So I'm super darn happy. We still have to cut it right here to make the quarter panel fit, but prior to doing any of that, we have to fix the structural stuff inside here. And I'm super happy because I think we figured out why this thing got rejected repaired. It is getting dark on us. You can probably hear fireworks. Is July 3rd, so tomorrow is July 4th, and I just want to wish every single one of you guys a happy 4th of July. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, please smash that like button and consider subscribing if you want to see more. Peace. I love each and every single one of you guys. I'm hoping to get this video out July 4th. If not, then July 5th. Anyways, love you guys. The next one is the best one. Peace.